Hi, I'm Jessica Breece, and this is my road to recovery.
All right, we got us a live one here.
Oh, we do.
We do. I can't wait to hear this story. I know. Now we got to set this up a little bit. She wasn't even supposed to be here this morning.
No, she wasn't.
We had somebody bail on us. Kathy's on the phone. Bam! She didn't get to take a shower, but you look wonderful.
Thank you so much.
So, Jess, thank you very much for coming.
That's exactly. I'm
look
texting. I'm
great.
like, hey, what's up? And usually nobody responds to those text messages from me. I don't. It's horrible. I know. Like, hey, I know. Hey,
It was
what you
questionable. It was like, hey, and I'm like, hey.
Hey.
You don't know whether to respond or not, huh? Well, we're glad you did.
It's Kathy. I'm going to respond.
Absolutely. All right, let's hear the story. Kathy, set it up.
So Jessica, she's worked for us for quite a while now. I remember when we first opened the agency, whenever you're kind of looking for your support staff and people to work for you, you want to get someone that's kind of knowledgeable. If I have one question about AA, she's always my first contact. If I have a question about how to get somebody connected to meetings, get sponsorship, whatever, she can quote the big book front to back, and that's not always a good thing,
Yeah,
but she
absolutely.
lives it. And it's simply amazing. There's a lot of people that I'm going to say envious of her road because it's so intricate, and she does not. It's just amazing. She walks the walk and talks the talk every day. So we met several years ago. She was in treatment at another facility. And several of the girls that were in treatment with you now work for us back then. And she done magnificent. She made her mind up. She was going to do this, and this is what she did. She took every step literally. And I need you to know, like, if you didn't fit inside her box, it was not going to cost her sobriety. She will just kindly ask you to step aside so she can move forward.
On a mission.
Oh, yeah, and it's still that way today. I mean, it's been that way for years now. How many years sober you got?
I have 5 years. Yesterday I looked 1,999 days today.
That's
a lot of
unbelievable.
days.
It's a lot of days. It's simply amazing some of the things that she's been able to do. So she comes into work for us, and she's a house monitor in the beginning at our women's program, and I can see, like, usually you see those people, and like, she's got a little extra, I can push her. And so I did, and I kept pushing her to do more and more and more, and then finally I'm like, listen, okay, we need some peer supports. Lawrence County don't have any. I want to build a peer support program, and I want you to run it. I want you to find the people. I want you to set up trainings through the state, and I want you to do all this. And she was like, how? I'm like, I don't know. That's for you to find out.
Figure it out.
I'm just going to have the idea, and I need you to do the legwork.
Yeah.
And she did it. And now we have 18 peer supports that work for
Good
us.
Lord.
I think in the county, probably, I don't even know, in the state, we might have more than anybody. And it wasn't because it was easy to do. She had to contact OMOS, get the classes set up, and we had to stage 3 classes and bring people from different parts of the state down here. It was a lot. And so now I'll just call and be like, hey, listen, so we need 3 events next week. We're going to do A, B, C, and D. I need you to set up and make sure we got all the marketing material. I need to make sure people are set up to be there and that they're knowledgeable. And don't send me anybody that's going to half-ass it. And every time it's done every time. So she was supervisor over our peer supporters, and we had an opening at our women's program for a leadership role there. And she's like, I think I want that job. And I'm like, I don't want you to take that job. I like you with what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
But no, I was like, no, you need to kind of spread your wings and fly a little bit. And she did. So now she is the site supervisor of our women's big house. 15 females, and I don't know how many staff you got. 10?
At least 10.
Mm-hmm. 10 staff, 15 clients, and she's doing the damn thing. She's
Good
running
Lord.
it, and yeah, I know, right?
Oh,
She's
yeah,
killing
you can
it.
definitely pat yourself on the
it's
back
great.
for all that.
And just not even that. I mean, just to know she will set up and head meetings. You do quite a bit with AA right now.
Yeah.
It's simply amazing. I mean, it wasn't always this easy, and I know it's been a lot to get you to this point. But man, to be able to watch it has been so exciting, and it's just great. Oh my God, the lives that she's touched is, I mean, I can't even put a number on it. It's great.
So if Kathy fires me, I'm going to be calling you.
There you go. I'm telling you, you can. You're like a one-man band. She can do it all. So yeah. So tell us a little bit about how you got started, Jess. What brought you to sobriety?
My last relapse was 2 days long, and there's really horrible things had happened. And I just knew then I was done. And I think it was like the first selfless thought that I had because my parents, when I was younger, I was 15, my sister died. So I watched them bury a kid, and I knew if I didn't quit then, they were burying another one, and I didn't want them to go through that pain again.
It's hard, isn't it?
It was, yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah, it
death
was
was hard
hard.
on you.
So at that point, I just, like, I mean, I know it only gets worse because the big book tells me it only gets worse. No relapse is ever better, and that one was bad enough to make me stop.
Once it starts, it never gets better until you stop.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you're
Yeah, it
exactly
just
right. Well
gets
said.
worse,
Yeah.
and the relapses get shorter, and
Right.
worse things happen during those relapses, and I didn't want my parents to bury another kid.
I think that for me, I always say when somebody will call me after they've relapsed, hey, Kat, I need help, and I'm like, did you wake the bear? Because it's like internally, when you wake that thing up inside you, it's really hard to shut it off again.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's one of the most fearful things, that usually after a relapse, if we can get someone in treatment within 24 hours, the chances of them staying sober are like 100 times more. If after that, I don't know what happens, your body's just ready to rock and roll, and I might not see you again.
Yeah,
That
we have the
happens.
mental obsession, and it don't stop. We have to treat it. Like, I'm diabetic, I have to treat my diabetes with insulin, and it's just like having addiction. I have to treat it with something, and I still today treat that with Alcoholics Anonymous.
It's amazing to me.
That's unbelievable.
It is. It's. She's bought a new house. Like, she's done. I mean, just as a single woman with kids, and I've seen her buy some new cars. I've watched her purchase homes. It's been quite amazing. What do you think happened then? It was just the sheer thought of your parents having to bury another child, or what happened internally?
I think that was what it was, and I just knew it was going to get worse. And I don't really want to talk about the events that happened in those 2 days.
Yeah.
But they were bad.
They were enough for you to know I'm not
yeah.
going back.
Absolutely.
Enough for me to, but I didn't know how to not go back.
That's the problem, right?
Yeah, I didn't know how to stay sober. I knew how to do all the messed up things in life, you know, because I
You knew how to
had done
get
that.
sober. You just didn't know how to stay sober.
Yeah.
That's what I tell everybody. That's half the battle. If I can get you, getting sober is not the hard or the easy part. That's the easy part. It's hard staying
It's
Staying
hard
sober,
staying
yeah.
sober, so I had to find somebody who was staying sober and do what they did
Mm-hmm.
and do what they suggested me to do. And when I did that, like, my life just started getting better day by day by day. And then it was like building the life you don't want to walk away from.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I've done this far.
Yeah.
That was when you said that about your parents, you know, and I watched my mother bury a child too. But a lot of people that are in full-blown addiction, they could give a rat's ass
They don't
less.
care.
That's the last thing they're worrying about. You know, hey, I'm better off if they have to bury me. It's such a selfish thing to do. So glad you took the other road for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wanted to be a mom. You know, my kids were 6 and 10 when I got sober. I don't want to cry, but I just wanted them to have a mom when I went to a school function that they were like, that's my mom. Not like, oh my God, what's mom doing?
Yeah.
Uh-oh, here comes a train wreck.
Yeah, and that was, I have that now with both of my kids, and it's remarkable. Like, my oldest daughter don't even want to stay all night at a friend's house because she's like, I miss you. And I'm like, you're not coming home.
I need a break. I need a break.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So what's been one of the biggest accomplishment in this 5 years of clean time that you have? Tell me something that you've accomplished that you're like, man, I did that.
Like, materialistic or personal?
Whatever comes to mind.
I just really think it's being the mom. I think it's being the mom. My kids love me. They want to be around me, and they like bragging on me. I think that's what it is. Or I'll hear my oldest daughter just repeat things that I say, like hurt people, or when they show you who they are, believe them. Just like little catchphrases, and being able to see that in her. And she's overcame a lot, you know, and I've been there right beside her and haven't gave up on her. And if I was in addiction, I would not have even started off beside her. You know, I would have just
Right.
showed up when it was convenient for me and easy. And it hasn't been easy, but we've done it, and now she's wonderful. I mean, she was always wonderful.
Oh, I get it.
It's hard
Yeah.
though. It's hard to mother. Did you find it was hard to mother from a place of like true care and concern or out of guilt? I know when I come home from prison, mine was straight from guilt. Like I was like, let me go buy Austin this, let me go do this. It wasn't the mom part. Like I felt like I had so much time to make up for, and I thought only material things did that in the beginning. And that kind of, once I had to discipline him, like the first or second time, I was like, oh my God, here we go. You know, it was hard.
We went through a phase with Brooklyn, and I think working the 12 steps and having like strong, sober support women in my life helped to alleviate that parenting out of guilt, because I had to get to that point to where, like, am I harming you or am I helping you? And I just wanted to help her, and I knew if I just co-signed everything, my main goal, like, I don't care if she can do algebra, for real, I don't. I want to send good little humans out into the world. That's my main goal with my children. And I didn't want to hurt her anymore. So it was really hard figuring out that line between like parent, because I still can parent out of guilt. She's like, I want this, and I'm like, okay.
Oh, I think all parents
Yeah.
do to some
Oh, yeah.
degree. I know I do.
Which my perception on it is spoil the kids. Because once they are an adult, they don't get spoiled anymore. Spoil them
no.
while they're little.
You gotta love them, don't you?
Yeah.
Forgiving. Kids are so forgiving too.
But
I
I'm
mean,
not bad about, like, if there's discipline needed,
Then you do
then
it.
that's what we do. I remember one time I went to the Goodwill and bought her, like, sweatpants, oversized T-shirts, and that was her clothes, and you're grounded to the living room so I can see what you're doing.
Oh, there you go.
It didn't last long. The groundings never last long.
No. You have good intentions, though, don't you?
Yeah.
You're going to do this for a month. And then a week later, it's like, hey, I'm going to let you slide.
Yeah.
But that's all right, too.
Yeah, I just wanted to learn.
If there's someone that's struggling out there right now that maybe had some clean time, they had a relapse, and they're trying to get back in the game, what's something that you could tell them to kind of give them a little bit of encouragement or hope? Because a lot of times that's the person that's hard to get to, you know, because I knock on wood every day, man. Like, I don't know. I think I know what I would do if I used. I think, and I know in my brain what I should do, but could I? Or would my ego be too big that I'd stand in my own way? That's a hard person to get to. And it
Yeah,
sounds like those are the
absolutely.
ones that we want to save. I mean, it's hard.
Those are the ones, and I think for real, a lot of times with like certain names on things, you want to hide your face because you don't want to be in the public. You don't want everybody knowing what's going on. But I know my phone number is floating around out there, and it's like an easy phone number to get. If you're in the recovery field, you say my name, somebody has my phone number. And I know several other people that are the same. So if you're wanting help on like a personal level, like just reach out to one person. One person. And don't quit because it gets hard. When I was 6 months sober, Brooklyn, my oldest, said she would never want to live with me. And my youngest, I still don't have custody of her. She lives with her dad 2.5 hours away. And she wasn't coming in that weekend or something. And I was working split shift at Giovanni's. And I'm like, why am I even doing this? And my sponsor told me, if you quit now, they'll never want to be with you. You know, and I took that to heart, and I haven't quit since.
Well, I just
Kids
need you
are
to know.
definitely forgiving, too,
They
I
are.
think.
That sponsorship thing that you do, and you guys, and I know just knowing you personally and professionally, you guys there's several of you guys. I mean, maybe like 8, I don't know. And you guys really call on one another. You've made a family outside of
Oh, yeah,
treatment.
absolutely.
And so that's kind of, you've built this huge thing that you never want to walk away from. And I just have to tell you, as an outsider looking at that, it's amazing. And that right there, if we could just capture that, we could sell it to people, they would want to get sober because they never think that life can be that good.
Yeah.
They always think they have a substance to make it good.
And it gets hard. It's hard. For me, it was like picking up the phone and calling somebody. That phone really does weigh 1,000 pounds. Like, I can pick it up and call a dope dealer, like, no question
Oh,
asked.
yeah, easy.
But
Yeah.
let me pick it up and call somebody and ask them, like, how do I get through this situation? It's hard. It's hard, and I think it is like that, the ego. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need help. I can do this on my own. That's
And most
not real.
people can't.
No, God, no. I haven't met
Yeah.
one person yet that could do it alone. At some point, you have to have somebody to kind of rest on, or at least bounce some stuff off.
And
of.
if you're doing it alone, what happens is what you'd be considered kind of is like a dry drunk. And about 10 years later, you're ready to kill yourself.
because you're miserable.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It's amazing.
Well, you're definitely one that can walk into a PTA meeting proud as can be.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
I guarantee you. Do they even have PTA meetings
I don't even
anymore?
know. I wasn't allowed to go. Austin's like, no, you can leave my mama home. We're good.
Oh, my dad, he'd come staggering in there, fall over the desk. Yeah, my dad was that girl you didn't want to be,
Yeah.
trust me. He was
It's
crazy.
insane. Well, I just need you to know from somebody that's in the recovery community, I'm in awe of some of the things that you do. It's very amazing to me how you can set aside and have very harsh boundaries for people. And it's amazing. Like, you're like, I just can't do that, Kathy, sorry. I mean, and you will, because you know that's not good for your recovery. And I love that about you. And I hope you continue to always do that and put you and your recovery first, because by doing that, it's saved thousands of lives.
Absolutely.
Well, and I have everything I have because my recovery comes first. And the big book tells me if I keep my recovery first, everything else can be first class.
Oh,
You know what I
there
mean?
you go.
Even if I put my daughter first, I'm going to lose everything else. Like, my recovery has to be first, period. And then everything else is good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Well, you're good.
She is.
Yeah.
Rock
Amazing.
on.
I know. I love it.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to get out of here. Good luck to you, and I'm going to fill out that
Thank you.
application.
Yeah.
All right, we're out of here.
Thank you.
See you.